Hey everyone, Talitha here. Welcome along to today's video. I'm founder of Life Force Locks and Talitha Jane. I wanted to come in and share a quick video with you today on the 3 things to consider when it comes to managing dandruff with dreadlocks. So I've noticed online there's been a few questions popping up around how to manage your dandruff situation with dreadlocks. So I thought I would share my 5 cents worth in here. I, for many years, have suffered from dandruff, even prior to getting my dreadlocks. And I've noticed over the last 2 or 3 years that it's actually turned into what's called seborrhoeic dermatitis. Now, these are conditions that affect, they're autoimmune problems, so they are associated with the immune system in the body. There are 3 considerations I want to share with you today. If you experience dandruff or if you experience psoriasis or seborrhoeic dermatitis, that these considerations might be able to help you on your journey. A lot of people just attack the dermatitis or the dandruff with topical solutions. So you use your Head and Shoulders conditioner or you put treatments on it, and it might just manage the symptoms, but it doesn't necessarily get rid of the problem. And these 3 considerations I'm going to share today will help you manage the symptoms, but also help you address the underlying condition and maybe help you long term. Okay, so I've been working in the natural health industry for many years now, and a part of my role outside of dreadloctician is working in the natural health practice. I help people with naturopathy based products, supplements, minerals, vitamins, that kind of thing. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is how important it is to manage our gut health. And so a lot of skin conditions and a lot of problems crop up when our gut is out of balance, when we don't have a healthy gut microflora. We'll get into the details of that soon, but there's one thing, one of the 3 considerations I wanted to share with you. I'll get into details about all of that in a moment. The first thing, though, I would like to plant a seed with you with is that just to monitor when your condition flares up. Often what happens for me is that if I'm under stress, it will flare up and it will get a lot worse. If I have a change in temperature, like the weather, for example, in the seasons, often this time of the year, coming into winter where it's drier, the air, where it's cooler, I often get amplified condition. When I'm stressed or run down or tired, I get an amplification of the condition. And these are things for you to consider, maybe looking at what happens for you when your condition flares up. How bad does it get? So those are some things that I would recommend taking into account. I would also recommend doing some more research on these things that I'm going to share with you as well, to see if it fits your picture. Don't take my word for it. Go and do some research and figure it out for yourself as well, because we can heal our body. The basis of naturopathy is really around bringing homeostasis back into the body. It's allowing our body to heal itself and come back into alignment, come back into balance. And often when it's out of balance, we come up with inflammation, disease. And the nature of naturopathy is to look at the digestive system and the immune system and bringing it back into balance. And so the second thing I wanted to say is stress, which I mentioned before. Stress is a huge dictator to how our body responds. And I'm not talking about stress as in I'm stressing out right now. Like that's a very obvious form of stress, but our bodies can experience stress in many different ways. So it might be the environmental stress or the emotional stress that you might be feeling with work, or when you get in the car and there's a pile up on the highway. Those kind of stresses are obviously stress, right? It's pretty damn obvious when you get into the car and you start getting a bit aggro with the drivers, right? But that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. Our body also experiences stress in other ways, chemical stresses. So if you're on medications, if you're taking a lot of different medications, your body chemically will be experiencing stresses. Chemicals in the sense of if you work in a job or an industry where there are chemicals around, the paint industry, the brick industry, any trades that are dealing with actual chemicals, your body has to process those every day. Our skin is the biggest organ in the body. It brings in and it has to filter exhaust. It has to filter crappy air conditions. It has to filter the foods, the liquids, the products that we put on our skin, perfumes, skincare, hair care. All of these things our body has to filter, and all of these things put stress on the body. The other form of stress is emotional stress. Okay, so if you're going through an emotional time, or if you don't feel very supported in your life, or like if you're managing those elements, then that is also stress in the body. We've got food stresses. So stresses, some food stresses for some people might be milk intolerance, might be gluten intolerance, sugar and refined sugars and carbs and junk food put a huge amount of stress on the body. So we experience stress in many different ways, and stress has a huge impact on our skin condition. And for those of you that are long-time sufferers of skin conditions, psoriasis or dermatitis, you'll probably know, and you'll probably notice within yourself that when you're stressed, your conditions are amplified. So one of the things that our microflora or our gut health can help manage is stress in the body, is hormones, is our immune system. There's about 75% of our immune system starts in the gut, starts in this in our intestinal space. And there are these little things called bacteria, the flora, the microflora, the microbiome of our body. And we have trillions of these little guys, these little bacteria happening in our body. They help manage all of these elements, the stresses, the hormones, the immune system support, the flow of our bowels. They help the whole process happen. So one thing to also consider, just on a side note, is if you are a long-term user of antibiotics, antibiotics kill the good bacteria as well as the bad bacteria. So if you're really unwell and you've gone on cases and cases and cases of antibiotics over months and months and months, the chances of your body healing from that are really, really hard. You've got to repopulate your bacteria with good bacteria. They're the good guys that support your immune system and look after your overall health. So just keep that in mind as well. So probiotics, or the microflora, these bacteria live in our bodies. There's trillions of them, and they have different purposes. So you'll notice on probiotic containers, you'll get the standard lactobacillus and lactoacidophilus, I think they are. But there are trillions of different bacteria, and they all do slightly different things to help the body. There's lots of studies out there that show how beneficial good bacteria is to help support the system. Now, two bacteria that help with skin conditions are rhamnosus is just one of them, and lactoparaceae, I think it is. Those two are usually in skin-related probiotic products. So I would recommend looking at or having a look into those two probiotics and getting yourself on a few courses of that. That'll help manage the skin condition. That'll help manage your psoriasis, your dermatitis, your dandruff, your seborrhoeic dermatitis. Basically, you're repopulating your gut health so that those little bacteria can start to do what they need to do to heal the skin and to heal the body. Now, often also another thing that dandruff and dermatitis is associated to is an overgrowth of yeast, or an overgrowth of the bacteria of the yeast, Candida. And Candida loves and thrives off of sugars. It thrives off of refined carbs. So if you have a high sugar diet and you love your junk food, because I admit that I have a tendency to have a sweet tooth, then we all have this Candida fungus in our bodies. Is whether or not you keep it in balance and keep it in check, and often a lot of us don't, and that's where we have the imbalance, and that's how we get these conditions as well. Do more research about it and check it out. I would suggest doing little things like getting onto those probiotics. Doing little things that will help balance the pH level in your body. So if you have a really acidic body because you're on those junk foods and those refined sugars and those carbs and those and you don't have a lot of leafy greens and a lot of good foods in you, then I would suggest balancing your pH so it's not so acidic. So you're looking at things like apple cider vinegar. You can put apple cider vinegar in some water with a teaspoon of or a squeeze of lemon and some manuka honey. Manuka honey is bacterial, antibacterial. It's a very good honey. So you could ingest that and drink that every day. You could look at doing the apple cider vinegar hair rinses with baking soda. I've been doing that about once a fortnight. And that just helps balance the pH level on the skin so that you are managing the fungus and you're managing the pH, the acidity on the skin. You can look at colloidal silver. That's also a really good antibacterial, antimicrobial solution. I've been mouthwashing with colloidal silver. I've had 3 teeth out and it's made my gums heal a lot faster than what it previously would have been if I hadn't used them. So you can actually ingest colloidal silver, you can drink it, you can mouthwash, you can topically use it. And there are some solutions, shampoo solutions out there I think that have a colloidal silver base. You could turn it into a spray. I'm actually going to be doing that myself. So that's again going to help manage the bacterial, the fungus aspect of it. But yeah, those 3 things would be things to look into. Probiotics, balancing your pH with apple cider vinegar, lemon, honey, colloidal silver. And the other thing that I wanted to share as well is looking at managing your diet. So trying to get more leafy greens into your diet, trying to make your diet a little bit less acidic. So getting rid of the sugars and the refined foods and that kind of stuff. The other aspect that I wanted to share as well, and these are really big life-changing things, but it will help you manage your condition over the long term instead of just temporarily putting a solution on your head. The other thing to consider was, now it's gone out of my brain, so you got your probiotics, you got your pH balancing solutions. What was the other thing? Stress. So stress in the body affects our adrenals long term. So if we're under stress and we're dealing with all these things and we're not really coping with them well, and we're just sort of dampening all these stresses down, our body gets tired, exhausted. So helping your body feel supported in this time, it's really important to maybe consider things like adrenal support. And some of the vitamins that help with specifically are linked to psoriasis and dermatitis is a lack of B vitamins. And so you can look into B vitamins. They help support the body and the energy and the adrenals in the body. They help you with calming the body. So B vitamins, that's been a direct link as well. And if you look into some of the research, vitamin D3 is also linked to leaky gut syndrome and other aspects of the gut, which also affect the hair. I could go into a whole lot of different things, but basically, in a nutshell, you've got what you need to start on your journey to help healing your head from dandruff, seborrhoeic dermatitis, psoriasis, or any of those skin conditions. Sure, you can put a topical solution on it and it might be okay for the minute, but you're not necessarily going to be healing the root cause, and that's what you want to be doing to be able to move forward. So hopefully this video has helped you. If you've got any questions, let me know. It's been quite a wordy video and there's lots of information here, so feel free to go back, watch it, and then take it as you wish. Go and do your own research, go and look into it yourself. Go and find a naturopath or somebody else within the natural health industry that can help you with these conditions. Because the thing is, you can heal your body. It is possible. You just got to know where to start. Okay, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead, like it, subscribe to my channel, and tag or share this video out to other dreadheads in your communities. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.